Hello everybody and welcome back to another episode of the Film Club, the YouTube series where we just talk about films. Now today I've got a little bit of a different episode because I'm just going to be talking about one film in particular. Now this is going to be something that I do in the future when there's like a bigger film, so like a Marvel film or a Star Wars film, because I'm a nerd, I love Star Wars, I love Marvel, those kind of bigger films, the blockbuster things like that, and it doesn't feel right to just put it in a Film Club episode with a bunch of other films, you know. I think I have a lot to say, especially about this one, and I want to talk about it a little bit more in depth. So today we're going to be talking about Antman and the Wasp: Quantumania. I don't get the hate for this film at all. I really don't understand it. Like, for me, yeah, it wasn't like the highest of tiers of Marvel films, but it also wasn't bad. Some people are like making out it's like the worst thing Marvel's done ever, and it's just there's so many bad things about it, and there's room for improvement, but honestly, I enjoyed the film, I'm not gonna lie. So we'll start off with one of the biggest things that I've seen people hate on, which is the CGI of this film, which almost kind of annoys me, because when you've got a film like this that is literally essentially 99% CGI for everything, there's gonna be a couple iffy shots, and yeah, there are a couple iffy shots. There's some where the characters don't actually look like they're sort of standing in the background, or there's one where someone puts their hand on something and it just didn't look right at all. But apart from that, I didn't really see any other major issues, and I've not seen anybody even like compliment the fact that there is some beautiful CGI shots in there. Like, just even the opening shot when you've got the backdrop of the whole quantum realm and the like swirly clouds, that was stunning. Some of the CGI on the characters looked really good. It really sort of like brought you into this quantum realm and this new world. A lot of people saying the CGI on MODOK was bad, but it wasn't at all. It's just a goofy character. You could spend like billions of CGI money on just MODOK and he would still look as weird as he did. Like, you could have the Avatar 2 level CGI and it would still look weird. It's just a weird looking character. I thought they did a really good job with MODOK in making him look as sort of normal as they could do with the design of him. Like, when he's got his mask down, he looks great, and when he's got his mask off, it's a bit weird to get used to, but like, that's kind of the point. I just don't get the criticism of MODOK at all, because it's not the CGI's fault, it's just the fact he's a weird character. The highlight of this movie for me was definitely Kang. After seeing He Who Remains in Loki, I was already excited to see Jonathan Majors again, because I just think he's doing a stellar job of this character, but it just surpassed it in this film. Like, every time he was on screen, he stole it for me. He genuinely brings fear to the character, and you almost are scared. Like, when they're in the prison and he's talking to Antman, I don't think we got to see full power Kang, and I think that's kind of a good thing, because you don't want him to go all out in the first film that he's in. You want him to save some things, you want him to learn some things. That's what I feel like some people aren't getting, that this is a character that's going to be with us for quite a few films now. We're not going to see full power instantly, you know. We've got to wait a little bit, he's got to develop. And yeah, I know he's been around for a long time, and he's been to all these other universes and conquered all these stuff. And what annoys me the most though is people who are saying, oh, Kang's supposed to be this big bad and he got beaten and killed by ants and MODOK. Firstly, he didn't die, he just went into the, I don't know what it was, but the power source. Secondly, if you like re-watch that, when he's got his shield and MODOK and the ants get him, they don't actually like leave a scratch on him. The argument that, oh, you're beat by ants doesn't make sense. You've got to also take into consider, like, these aren't just ants either. Like, these are like superhuman ants, and ants are pretty strong anyway. Not that I'm arguing for the ants. Like, yeah, it doesn't really make sense on some level where there's a shot of Kang just absolutely tearing people apart, and then there's another one where he's taken over by ants. But it doesn't really matter. Like, it's not. We're not going to see this happen in Kang Dynasty, are we? This is just the beginning. I just think Jonathan Majors did an absolutely fantastic job of the character, and I really can't wait to see what happens next with it. And you know, the Council of Kangs and all that after credits scene. Oh my god, the after credits scene. That was almost like the best part of the film for me, to be fair. Another criticism I've seen people make is that Ant-Man's daughter, Cassie, was not the best of characters, which I do agree with, but I don't get people sort of calling out the actor. You know, the actor did as much as she could with the lines she was given. I think it's more down to the writing of her character, but she's not a developed character, you know. We haven't spent any time with her. We've not seen her for pretty much the entirety of her life growing up until she was older, you know. And yeah, for her to just have the go-to line of screaming dad and running is a little bit frustrating with the writing of the film, but I don't think it took that much away for me personally. I don't think it ruined the film in any way. I've seen a lot of people also complaining about the humour. I saw a comment about the humour like before I went in to watch it, and I was so confused while watching it, because there was parts of it which actually made me laugh, and there was no out of place humour for me. It all seemed to, you know, make sense for the characters and make sense in the moment and things like that. It wasn't like it ruined a serious moment or anything. It was genuinely like, oh yeah, okay, that was a funny joke. I actually laughed at quite a few of the parts of this. I was fully prepared at the end to see sort of Kang win and Ant-Man, you know, get stuck in the quantum realm, or even like worse, die. But I kind of see why they have done what they've done, because there's now rumours that obviously Kang going into that will become the Beyonder and things like that. I mean, yeah, don't get me wrong, I would have loved to see more of Kang the Conqueror. I mean, I don't know, there might be another variant of Kang the Conqueror. We just don't know yet, so there's no point in criticising it until, you know, we get to the end of this phase 5. But for me personally, I genuinely just had a really fun time with this film. I really enjoyed it. I thought it had some great moments. And I think you've also got to take into the consideration now that I think Marvel films are almost like a TV show in itself, and this is episode 1. Like, this is just set up. It's not a big finale fight. It's not a big, you know, final dramatic ending or anything like that we get in like Infinity War or Endgame. It's the start, and you didn't used to get that, you know, with like Iron Man 1 or things like that. Like, that was just its own standalone film. But now Marvel is moving to a more cinematic place where, you know, they've got a 5-10 year plan, whatever it is, and this is just the start, you know. So you've got to take that into consideration, which I think a lot of people didn't, and they were just expecting for Kang to just wipe the floor with everyone, and that wouldn't even be that fun to watch. I mean, if we knew that Kang was just going to absolutely destroy everyone all the time, what's the point? Like, I don't know, but either way, I really enjoyed the film. If you've seen it, let me know what you thought about it, and yeah, I'll see you next time on The Film Club.